Today is a little bit different to how we handled the lessons in the past. Mainly, I wanted to share with you just some quiz questions that we've posted on the website, and then just take you through how you can go about sort of calculating the solutions for these and some of the steps that you would be required. So hopefully you can see the screen at the moment, where we look at our first question. So here, if I just read the question to you, it goes, you are a chartered accountant working for EXP. EXP have signed a contract on the 1st of January to purchase a new machine. The value of the contract is 10 million, payable in installments. So there's 20% on signing of the contract, 30% in 6 months, 30% on the delivery, with the remaining 20% 1 month after the delivery. And so here, a bank loan was also taken out, the terms of which amount borrowed of 10 million over 3 years with an interest rate of 6%. And so they decided to spend an additional 100,000 on installation and 50,000 on training costs in using the new machine, and also 10,000 on marketing to advertise to clients. And so the delivery cost is 10,000, and EXP has a 30 June year end. So what is the cost of the machine that EXP should recognize? So in this question, it's really goes to the heart of what we covered in Unit 7, which was what is the amount that we need to consider for the cost of an asset. And here you can see that we have borrowing costs as well. So if we think about the standard and what's included and what's not included, go back and have a look at the slides. And so clearly the purchase price or the contract price of the equipment would be included, okay? But what about these additional direct costs, or direct or indirect costs? And so what was the standard in relation to that? And so again, if you go back and have a look at your materials, you'll find that out of these ancillary expenses, we would have a proportion of which that can be recognized and a proportion that cannot be recognized. So clearly, installation, delivery is going to be recognized. Okay, however, training staff and this marketing costs will likely not be recognized. Okay, so here you can see that in our sort of schedule here, and again, I recommend you to go through a similar exercise, is that you can look at the asset in the contract terms, and then you break it out into these various components. So the value of the contract, you've got the installation, you've got the staff training, you've got some marketing, you've got delivery, and you've got this capitalized borrowing cost, okay? So if we just exclude the capitalized borrowing cost, you can see that it's going to be the 100,000 for install, okay, so that's going to be included, as to with the delivery. However, with the 50,000 staff training and the marketing, that's clearly going to be excluded, okay? Now, in terms of looking at the borrowing costs, we just need to think about from what time period, okay, these borrowing costs have been incurred. And so here, you can see that putting through a timeline, okay, or drawing up a timeline, however you feel you're comfortable with, this is going to be a very useful exercise, so that you can categorize when exactly expenses have begun and when they've stopped. And so in this particular case, we've got borrowing costs that have spanned a period of 14 months. Okay, so if you think about the 1st of February x8 towards the 31st of March x9, you can see that this period here has is of 14-month duration. And so if we were to calculate what interest expense over 14 months would be, what we would do is we would simply just calculate, well, how do we calculate the interest expense in a year? So if you think about a year, we just take the amount that we've borrowed, which is this 10 million, we multiply it by the interest rate. Okay, we're going to get interest expenses for 1 year, and then we can just adjust for an extra 2 months, right? So you could do 10 million times 6 times 14 over 12. So some sort of arithmetic to that level, you'll be able to find that the total amount of borrowing costs is going to be 700,000. And so if we put all of that together, then the amount that we can include as the cost of the machine is going to be 10,810,000. Okay, so this question is a great one in the sense that it talks about, goes through the different parts of the standard along with borrowing costs, and you need to make sure that you understand how to treat these various components. So so are there any questions before we go on to the next one? All right.